Cool. All right. Our next comedian coming to the stage. This guy has taken my class a couple different times. And I don't want to say too much about him, but very nice guy. I think the entire class loves him personally, also because he works in the medical field. So well, comics don't have health care. So anyways, you know what I'm saying. All right. Please welcome to the stage, James Trisky, everybody.
Well, hello. All right. Well, first off, as you mentioned, I am a nurse, and I have to pass out a little public service announcement. Now that I am retired, I can talk about a pandemic that you were never even aware of. I mean, it has spread worldwide. No cure, no vaccine, and everybody in here has been exposed. In fact, some of you may develop symptomology later this evening. I'm talking about optical rectitis. That is Latin for anal glaucoma. Primary symptom, I can't see my ass going to work tomorrow. I believe I was getting a chronic case, and because I never wanted to go back, and then I found a cure. I retired. So, I know I kind of look like an old hippie, and I won't deny that, but I'm currently dementia-free, at least as far as I know. Now, a lot of you are assuming that I'm an old stoner. Well, I will tell the truth. I do drugs. We're talking Flintstone, vitamin gummies, Protonics, Lipitor, Flomax if I really like to pee. But being a medical professional, I never did recreational drugs unless I had them. Now, the worst thing about, we've already established, that I am an old stoner, and the worst thing about being an old stoner is young stoners. I mean, there was a time when I was a cool dude. I was an outlaw. I was living on the edge. I mean, I knew people who knew people. I made drug deals in back alleys, parking lots, scary neighborhoods, friends' apartments. I was just hoping nobody there was a snitch. Now, I'm standing in line next to an 18-year-old that's got a medical marijuana card because his job at passing out towels at the water park is too stressful. I'm like, hell, when I was his age, my water park was an aircraft carrier. And there were no dispensaries. I had to find my own weed. So anyway, inside, I'm greeted by a 20-something-year-old that's trying to grow a beard. And he wants to explain to me the various splicing techniques and genealogy and all the stuff they went into growing this particular strain. And then, like I said, I established I'm an old stoner, so I only have two questions. How much and how high? Now, when they legalized grass in Colorado, I made a special trip to Four Corners just so I could stand legally in Colorado smoking grass with 1 foot in Arizona, maintaining my outlaw status while enjoying the New Mexico scenery and exhaling into Utah just to piss off the Mormons. Yeah, it's one of those points. You actually laughed at that, so I forgot where I was at. All right, so anyway, I went to California after they legalized because I wanted to have my first experience buying legal grass. Called up my brother-in-law, asked him to take me to a dispensary. This fool drives me to a strip mall and parks in front of a California Highway Patrol substation. I'm like, all right, dude. Very funny, I'm the comedian. He's sitting there laughing and pointing, and I realize that there is a pot shop next to the cop shop. And if you thought that was crazy, you should have seen the caravan of cops and stoners at the Dunkin' Donuts. Well, anyway, mission accomplished. I have my official legal weed, and I'm confidently striding past the chips officer, and I'm thinking, Man, I could really use some nachos. Maybe I'll get some after the show. I don't know. I mean, where are Punch and John when you need them? As a boomer joke for those of you who didn't get. So, like I said, being an old stoner, people are constantly wanting me to contrast. You know, they want me to compare the old weed with the new weed. And hey, it's definitely stronger. And oh my God, the edibles. The other night, I was all comfy on my couch watching the boob tube. I was test driving a new edible, and the Flomax kicked in. Remember the Flomax? So I stood up, and I realized really quickly it was not a really good idea. So I did a left leg Godzilla stomp, and then a right leg Godzilla stomp. Now that I'm firmly planted on terra firma, I race to the bathroom. Well, at least my mind was racing. What my feet were doing, I'm not sure. I mean, hell, I'm not old. I'm only in my very, 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 very late 60s. Finished in the bathroom, I sprinted back to the kitchen. And as I got into the kitchen, the song Stuck in the Middle with You starts playing. The next thing I know, I've got jokers to the left. I've got clowns to the right. And I'm dancing. And I realize I may be too old and stoned to walk, but I'm never too old and stoned to rock and roll. And as a contingency plan, I have developed the more safer and safer penguin walk. Now, people are constantly wanting to know how I stay so young. Well, I tell them two things. One, never act your age. Not a problem for me. And laugh a lot. And in these stressful times, I highly recommend M&Ms twice a week. Now, I'm not talking about the candy, although I do find the green M&M extremely sexy. Hey, I have a pinup of her wearing checkered flag go-go boots in my bathroom. Now, I'm talking about marijuana and masturbation. Two extremely enjoyable activities that are synergistically awesome. That's a cool medical term, by the way. And if you do it right, and with as much practice as I've had, I do it right, I get a free cardiac stress test every time. Let me tell you, my heart's working just fine. Well, that's my time. I'm James Trisky, and if you remember anything about this, 4 out of 5 doctors agree. Laughter is the best medicine. Thank you.
One more time for James Trisky, everybody.